Hello students, in this session we are going to talk about this particular topic, sociology and common sense. Okay, so we have already completed 2 sessions. We have talked about emergence of sociology and we have then talked about scope of sociology. The first 2 topic of your chapter 1 of paper 1 is completed, and there's the last topic, that is the third topic in your chapter 1. With this we'll be completing our chapter 1, and then tomorrow onwards we'll move towards chapter 2. Okay, so now if you see here why this particular debate is there, if you see all these questions, this is all related to a debate, right? So sociology and common sense. Sociology is nothing more than common sense. There's a debate. Sociology is much more than common sense. So those who are not sociologists, they will tell that sociology is nothing more than common sense, right? And then sociologists will tell that sociology is much more than common sense. So what is the aspect of this debate is what you need to understand to solve this particular question. So if I try to give you the structure of the answer, the first part of the structure will be, the aspect of this debate. You should be explaining why this debate is there. Now, if you remember when we have discussed about our syllabus, I've told you most of the things are already known to you, right? Like tribals, like caste system, like family, religion, politics, all these are known to you. So you may think that what is there to study new in sociology? Now, if you see your paper 2 syllabus, it is exactly similar to what all things that you will study in GS. So if you are saying GS is related to common sense, the GS is related to something which is general studies, which everyone knows, then what is there in sociology paper 2, right? So basically sociology paper 2 is all about general studies, if you see. But as a sociologist, we see it in a different way. We study with a perspective, we study with testing, evidence, reasons, etc. Okay, so we will come to that as sociologists. But here, if suppose I am telling you, let's study about family today. So what you will ask me, we are having a family, we live in a family, and for this all 25 years we lived in a family, and we know everything about family. What is there to study new in family? Same is the case with religion, right? So this is actually already rooted in the minds of the people. So what all things sociology study, all these elements are already there in the minds of the people. So people mistakenly believe that sociology is nothing more than the application of common sense. Okay, so that's the reason why most of the sociology students will also believe that sociology paper 2 is nothing more than GS only. Okay, you can see Green Revolution, you can see caste system, you can see tribals, all these are part of your GS also. Okay, so I hope you understood. That is actually the reason for this debate. Most of the things that we are studying are quite obvious and are general in nature, and people mistakenly believe that it is nothing but the application of common sense, and that is actually the reason for this debate. So if you need to answer this particular question, the structure of answer should be like this. First, you talk about the reason for this debate. Okay, so this I'm giving you the skeleton of the answer. So you talk about the debate, there's a reason for the debate. See, you can talk about any question from first 3 chapters of paper 1. The first line I have already told you, it is related to emergence of sociology. What you will write? You will have to incorporate modernity, you will have to incorporate social changes in Europe, and then you talk about emergence in one single line. How will you write that? Sociology emerged as a distinct discipline in response to challenges posed before modernity in medieval Europe. So there we are incorporating all those things that we have studied in our first topic, right? Emergence of sociology. Then since sociology emerged, the initial sociologists wanted to make it on the line similar to natural sciences. So they started using methods which are readily used in natural sciences in sociology, and then the scope of sociology gradually widened, and with the development of the scope of sociology, this kinds of debate was there. The elements that sociology study are quite obvious and are already known to people, already rooted in the minds of the people. As I've told you, religion, you know about religion. There is no point that I am going to teach you about religion, right? Is it required? Okay, similarly about family, you all have family, so you know about family. What is there to study new about family? So this is a common perception that people carry in their mind, because all these things are there in the minds of the people for a long time. So people mistakenly believe that sociology is nothing but the application of common sense. So in this context, we will take up this debate. So how will you take up this debate? We will first say what you mean by sociology or what you mean by common sense. So explain what is common sense. Then you will explain, next paragraph, you will explain what is common sense. You will tell that commonsensical knowledge is something which is general in nature, that is something which everybody know about a particular phenomena, which is not necessarily false. It is not necessarily true also always. It can be true, it can be false, okay? So the legitimacy of that commonsensical knowledge is actually not questioned at any point of time. On the other hand, sociological knowledge is based on evidence and reason. It is based on some enquiries which are conducted, and the legitimacy of those enquiries are questioned, okay? So then you will explain what is sociology. So you will talk about what is common sense, what is sociology. Now you will have to talk about what are the differences between sociology and common sense, okay? You will tell what are the differences. So what is sociology, what is common sense, what are the differences, etc. Then what you will do, the next paragraph you will talk about the similarities between sociology and common sense, and then you will conclude. And what is your conclusion? I've told you in your conclusions you should always go for open-ended conclusion. You don't want to take the stand for sociology, you don't want to take the stand for obviously common sense also, but this may be okay. Sociology is much more than common sense, that you already understood because you are at least conducting study, okay? It is based on evidence, reason, it is testable, so obviously it is much more than common sense. But you don't want to judge the relative superiority or inferiority, because without common sense, sociology is not there. The starting point of sociology is actually common sense. The topic which you are selected is based on common sense. The inquiry which is conducted is also based on common sense. If a person don't have any common sense, do you think he can become a sociologist? No. So basic element for sociology is actually common sense. Okay, the starting point of the subject matter is also common sense. So both are actually mutually interlinked, complementary to each other rather than contradictory. So mutual stimulus, and both are going hand in hand. Both are actually there. Okay, both have their own stand. So you cannot be a sociologist without having common sense. Okay, so without if you don't have common sense, you can never be a sociologist. You cannot conduct a study, you cannot even choose a topic. So common sense is also equally required. So do you think at this point there is a point in judging the relative superiority or inferiority? No. So your conclusion will be both are mutual stimulus or complementary to each other, and both are complementing each other in the social research. So obviously there is no point in judging the relative superiority or inferiority. So that with that you will be providing an open-ended conclusion, and that will be the better answer. But still, in all our discussion, we are talking about sociology in much more detail. We are talking about it is based on evidence, reason, it is based on testing, and the methods also we are discussing. So let's now move on to the PDF. So generally what I'll do in classes like this, exactly the same I'm doing here. Instead, first I'll explain like what I've done now, then I'll dictate, and while dictating also I'll explain each and every point, because in sociology between lines is important. Every line that you're writing is actually important. It may be providing a new concept. Okay, see, if you have any doubt with respect to any of your preparation, for example sociology, if you need to write answers and if you need me to get it evaluated, you can get in touch with me. This is my Instagram ID, or you can join the Telegram channel. You will get all my videos over there. Sociology, not only sociology, we have done history, complete history we have done, and then economy, okay, then ethics, everything we have done. So this is my number, 892697 or 98955 So you can get in touch with me in any of this, or these are my Facebook ID, Zia Safir, or Zia IAS is the Facebook page. Okay, so you can get into the YouTube channel. This is a YouTube channel. You are watching the video in this only. So I hope if you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me. Okay, for answer writing, for test series, we have the test series program, we have the personal mentorship program. Okay, there I'll guide you in sociology as well as in GS also till your preparation. Okay, throughout your preparation. And then we have the regular classes for sociology and GS also. All the subjects we have, module classes are there, so you can attend the live classes, and we are providing currently through Zoom. And then we have the online recorded classes. For that we will provide you the link of every videos, and you can attend online at any point of time. And then we have the live regular classes that only in Kerala, in Trivandrum. Okay, so if you wish to attend, you can get in touch with me directly, or you can contact the institute. So let's get started with this topic. So sociology and common sense, these are the questions. Now here we are actually going to talk about the debate I've discussed. The scope of sociology mainly draws from the understanding of society. Yes. The various components of sociology. The various components of sociology which sociologists study are rooted in the minds of people. So already things are there in the minds of people, as I have told you: religion, family, politics, etc. Okay. In this context, many people mistakenly believe that sociology is nothing but the application of commonsensical knowledge. It is often argued that what sociology studies is quite obvious. That means everybody know everything. It is general in nature. Thus, the relationship between the two must be delineated carefully. So let's get into the discussion on common sense, then sociology. So this paragraph is actually explaining what is common sense and what is sociology. As I have told you already, commonsensical explanation represent the things that everybody knows about the social world or human behavior. Okay, for example, when we talked about green revolution, if you remember, I have told you a sociologist will tell one of the impact of green revolution. If you remember, that we have already discussed, right? See, migration will be there. When green revolution is there, the demand for agricultural labor is so high where? In green revolution area, but low where? In non-green revolution area, because profitability is more in green revolution area. So their demand for agricultural labor is more, the wages will also be more. So there will be a migration of agricultural labor from green revolution area or from non-green revolution area to green revolution area. So that will result into higher male population in the green revolution area, because male only will migrate. They can't take family along with them. Already the wages are less, right? So male population in green revolution area will increase, and that is the reason why in Punjab and Haryana the adverse sex ratio. One of the reason for adverse sex ratio in Punjab and Haryana is because of green revolution. We can put it in this way: there is a kind of sociological understanding and commonsensical knowledge. You will never even think of this dimension. I'm telling you, no GS student, if you're not a sociology student, if you're not a sociologist, you will not think of this dimension. And that led to what? Feminization of agriculture in the non-green revolution area, because male population was not there to take up the agricultural jobs. Okay, so female have to take up that agricultural activity. That led to feminization of agriculture, feminization of poverty. All these are connected. So I hope you understood there's a difference between common sense and sociology. I'm telling you, I'm very sure that if you're a general studies student, if you're getting a question on green revolution, you will never write this particular point. But if you're a sociologist, you need to have good knowledge about sociology. Then only you will write. You just studying somewhere and reading some textbook, that doesn't mean that you will get this kind of points. Okay, so you should be studying with a best teacher, and you should be knowing exactly what is the sociological impact. Then only you will be writing this. Okay, so that is the difference between a general and a sociology student. So obviously, if you're a sociology student, even the general things also you will see in a different perspective. Just like what we have discussed in case of inequality, you will be in a position to justify even the extreme abstract forms of inequality by using a functionalist perspective if you are a sociologist. At the same time, you will criticize it like anything by using a conflict perspective if you know Marx very well. Okay, so we will come to all those things, and I'm sure that I'll change your mindset, I'll change your perspective or the way you see things related to society in the coming sessions. Okay, so these beliefs may not be necessarily incorrect. It can be true, it can be false, but people generally believe that what all things they carry in their mind is true, right? But in general, they are assumed to be true by common people. The validity of commonsensical view is not generally questioned. Okay. On the other hand, sociological views are in the nature of argument, which are based on logic and reason. These are not simply in nature of assumptions, but are arguments based on evidence and reason, testing. On this basis, the differences and similarities or superiority or inferiority between the two can be examined. So here what we talked about what is common sense and what is sociology. Okay. Now we will move towards the differences, then similarity, then conclusion. So that's your structure. Now the differences. Sociological knowledge is the product of theory, development and testing. Yes. Common sense is on the basis of just assumption. Okay, there is no need to have any confusion here. I don't think that any explanation is required at this point of time. Sociological knowledge is based on insights into human society and culture. Yes, these insights are often objective and coherent. On the other hand, sociological knowledge are not always coherent and contradict with each other. For example, you see statements like birds of the same feather flock together and opposites attract. Both are contradictory, right? Same feather, be together, one statement. That is commonsensical statement. Opposites attract. That is also commonsensical statement. Both are actually contradictory, right? So that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, commonsensical knowledge are contradictory. Now, common sense is nothing but the general perception based on individual's experience. So your common sense is basically based on your experience about a particular crime, or your experience about different social phenomena, etc. Right? But sociology aims at generating a world view. Okay, that means it is something which is generalized on the basis of experiments which are tested, or experiences or experiments which are tested. General perception about crime. Okay, sociological understanding will be different and a commonsensical understanding will be different. Commonsensical view tend to reinforce status quo. That means they resist social change. But sociological understanding will promote social change in the desirable direction. For example, if we talk about caste system, sociological knowledge will promote caste system by saying this is exploitative in nature and it is actually hindering the development of society. On the other hand, commonsensical knowledge, for example, they will go with the religion and they will say that caste system is necessary and it is part of religion, so it has to continue. So they resist social change and they won't help in the development of anything. Okay, so it prevent development, sometimes resist social change. They promote status quo. They wish to be in status quo, in the same situation, same status, against social change. Okay, so the common sense sociological knowledge meant to be progressive in nature and promote social change in the desirable direction. Most commonsensical view about caste system, not statement, system, tends to legitimize caste, whereas sociological understanding tends to reject it. Commonsensical views are often based on images which get reinforced through stereotypes. Like we carry certain images like saints. If we talk of saints, some image will come to your mind, right? Similarly, when we talk about heroes or villains in movie, so all these are actually reinforced in your mind, okay, through stereotypes or through movies, etc. It is already there in your mind. But on the other hand, sociological knowledge challenges all these stereotypes. On the other hand, sociological knowledge is not based on stereotypes, rather it challenges it. Okay. Now, what are the similarities? As I've told you, the base for sociological study is actually common sense only. Now here, what all things we have said before, we are exactly changing it, and we are now going to talk exactly the opposite, because that's our requirement. We need to talk the similarity now. So apart from this, sociology also draws from common sense and shares some similarities. Concepts in sociology are framed by taking into consideration the commonsensical understanding. Yes, it often acts as starting point in the development of the context. Commonsensical view provide raw material for sociological investigation. Okay, the problems or issues addressed by sociology are taken from the commonsensical view. For example, sociology of gender aims at questioning or analyzing the commonsensical view about sex or gender. Now, common sense also help in development of the discipline, as it often criticizes the sociological conclusion which enriches the discipline. So a sociologist come up with a study, and using common sense only you criticize that study, and that will provide more in-depth understanding of that study that enriches the knowledge, and the sociologist can modify upon that. Okay, you call it a skepticism or organized skepticism, etc. So that is actually advantage in this case for enrichment of the discipline. Sometimes sociological knowledge become a part of commonsensical knowledge, thereby helping in the development of common sense. What I'm saying is, as I've told you in the beginning, once you complete your syllabus in sociology, even the normal things in society you will start seeing in a sociological way. So, for example, inequality. Now, you may criticize inequality now in society, okay, but sometimes you will be in a position to justify it once you complete the sociology syllabus. That's what I'm saying, your common sense will also improve. So, because you will start seeing things in a much better way, much better perspective, okay, your orientation will change. Because without inequality, society cannot survive. You will understand once you're done with sociology and functional theories, and you will tell that this is inevitable, inequality is inevitable and it is permanent. Any known society, if you take, there is inequality. That means inequality is certainly providing certain vital functions of society, and that's the reason why it is permanent, it is inevitable. You cannot ignore it. Whatever measures government take, you cannot establish an egalitarian state. The so-called communist societies or socialist societies, if you see, is there inequality? Yes, inequality is there. Okay, so some forms of inequality will be there in all society, otherwise the society cannot function. I hope you understood. Okay, and that is a sociological perspective. Thus the relation between sociology and common sense is intricate and mutually beneficial to each other. The postmodern theorists even claim that there is no such thing else the truth, and all knowledge is uncertain. So everything is actually uncertain except the truth. In this context, the relative superiority or inferiority is meaningless. So this is your conclusion. So this is how you will be writing your answer. So I hope this discussion is clear for all of you. If you have any doubt in this discussion, you can get in touch with me. That's my Instagram ID. Again and again, I'm telling you, if you need to write answers, you can directly write answers to me in my number, or you can contact me. You can join the Telegram channel. You'll get all my videos over there. Okay. So what we have done here is, I'll go for a quick recap. First, you talk about the aspect of debate, why this debate is there, and you understood the reason why this debate is there. Then you talk about what is common sense. Then you talk about what is sociology. Then you talk about what are the differences. Then you talk about what are the similarities. Then you write a open-ended conclusion by saying relative superiority or inferiority is meaningless. So this is how your answer should look like, and you can change the way I have given you the answer. You can write in your own way, but this should be the body, or this should be the skeleton of your answer. You cannot change it. Okay, so this will give you a better answer and you'll get a better mark. So I hope you understood. See you guys. Thank you.